Nicola Chika is a senior financial accountant and a qualified chartered accountant. She has worked in public practice and corporate finance in Australia. Nicola is also a dedicated Daraja mentor and a recipient of the Inspirational Mentor Award.
I did need a mentorship in regards to just especially talking to someone who's been in Australia a long time, is familiar with how the Australian job market works and what would help me achieve my goals. Because like I said, I want to be a CEO.
Yeah.
So just having those conversations. So I did have conversations with a number of people, and I did have a mentor who was able to sit with me and help me look at process what I had on my table, and then help me look at the pros and cons of each.
Recognized for her strong leadership, service, and positive impact. On Daraja Impact Stories, Nicola shares her personal journey, the lessons she has learned, and insights from her career and mentoring experience to inspire the next generation of leaders.
Welcome to Daraja Impact Stories, a platform where we capture testimonials from mentors, mentees, supporters, sponsors, and friends of Daraja. Now, Daraja Impact Hub is a mentorship program aimed at empowering the young African leaders through providing guidance that's culturally attuned. Today with me, joining me is Nicola Chika or Chauke. We're going to capture a testimonial from her because she's part of the Daraja Impact Hub mentors, and we're going to hear from her how the journey has been so far. Nicola, welcome.
Thanks, Guda. Thank you for having me.
No, we appreciate you making the time and coming to speak to us today. Nicola, I think a good starting point would be starting with your background. You're a chartered accountant. You've worked at firms here in Australia, in Sydney. You've moved to Brisbane. You've changed companies. We want to hear that story. Where did it all start? Did you go to school here in Australia or back where you come from? And can you tell us a bit about yourself, please?
Yes, sure. So basically, I was born and raised in Zimbabwe. I went to school for high school and primary in Zimbabwe. Came over to Australia in about 2012 to study a Bachelor of Commerce, majoring in accounting. So I went to the University of Newcastle, did that for about 3 years, graduated, and then when I started looking for jobs, which was something difficult as an international student, the first job offer I got was in a very small country town called Skird, in an accounting firm, a two-partner accounting firm.
Wow.
And I was in business services, started off there doing accounting for horses, farms.
Wow.
And then about 2 years in, I then got an opportunity to move to Sydney to a bigger accounting firm, one of the top 10 accounting firms in Australia, and still in business services. So I moved to Pitcher Partners, where I was able to continue my career as a business services accountant. Did that again for about 2-3 years, got promoted. And that's when my journey takes an interesting turn, because I then got an opportunity to move to PwC, but in a different field completely. So it was in audit.
Right.
I was going to be moving from business services into audit.
Yeah.
And I was faced with a crossroad, because then it's either I was going to go in as a senior auditor, but I would know nothing, or take a step back, take a pay cut, and go back as a audit, like a junior auditor. And because I was going to go in, I really wanted to learn the ropes. I decided to take a pay cut.
Wow.
And then I went in as a junior auditor, did that for about 2 years. It was really good.
Yes.
However, the workload was crazy. It was crazy. Audits,
Firms.
all the nightmares. What they say about audit is true.
Yes.
I was now drinking from being a non-coffee drinker to drinking 4 cups of coffee.
To just keep you alive and keep you lively and working and churning those numbers. Nicola, I want to take you back to a place where you mentioned that you worked at a very small firm, and then obviously you then went to work for the PwCs of this world. But I want to take you back to that level. You said you were in a small town. How was it as a lady and also from a diverse background. Small towns here are not quite, the same as where we come from. I just want to understand how you navigated that landscape, and if there's any advice you can give to some for viewers out there.
Yes, so it was a very tough decision I had to make because it was the first job opportunity I got, and having African parents, they didn't give me a choice. They're like, you got something, take it. So essentially, it was very difficult because I was the only person of color in the whole town. So I did stand out. But essentially, one thing I did find with small firms and a small town, everyone's friendly. Everyone gives you that family vibe. So it's not one day I felt out of place, even though I did stand out. People did try and go out of their way to make me feel at home, to accommodate me, including the company I worked for. They were really amazing.
Wow.
So I think that was essentially just building those connections, especially with people from work, and then also attending events, meeting people.
This is what I wanted to hear. So these are the practical things that you did, right? Because we all know that when we come here, obviously we want all these opportunities, but there are certain things we need to do, right? So what you're now talking about, the networking, being intentional with building those relationships and maintaining those relationships goes a long way. So if there's any young lady or young man out there who wants to kickstart their career in a small town, here are some practical tools that you can use as well to propel your career forward. Nicola, you then mentioned that you went to one of the firms in Sydney, and you were faced with the decision of taking a pay cut or to take a higher paying role but not quite what you wanted. So I just want to understand that decision making. How did you arrive to, because most of us, I remember as a young man as well, if I was faced with that decision, I'll probably go where the money is at. We want to go through your thought process and the decision making that landed that particular decision.
Yes, I'm sure. So I had to have conversations. So that's the first thing. One of the first conversations I had was with my partner at the accounting firm I worked at. So he was more like a mentor at that time, especially because I was doing my CA program, and he was my mentor for the CA program. So I had a conversation with him, told him what I was thinking of doing, and then obviously we discussed the pros and cons. I had a conversation with a couple of my friends who are also in the field as well, just to hear their perspectives, friends in audit who were also able to then share their experiences about audit. And the other thing I did was go on LinkedIn, search for somebody at PwC in the team, and I reached out to them to find out, okay, I've been offered a role at your company, and I'm thinking about taking it. And that's something I've done for most of my roles,
right.
or actually all my roles.
Yeah.
I always reach out on LinkedIn. I try find, go search for the company, search for someone who's either been in that role or works in that team, have that conversation, and just get a point of view from a person on the ground who can then tell you.
And what questions are you asking at that level? Because obviously you don't know these people. You're going there cold. They're saying shooting. You're shooting. DM shooting your shot, they would say, and well, not in that way, but all I'm saying is professionally, right?
Professional,
They are trying to get in there and get an understanding whether you'll be a good team fit, whether the culture is right for you. I just want to understand some of the questions that you're asking these people when you DM them via LinkedIn.
Yes, so I'm essentially looking for someone at my level, or someone who's been in the role I was in, and trying to find out why they're leaving, if they're leaving, and then just trying to find out more about the company, how the workload is it like, just so I can prepare as well if I'm going to take the role. So essentially I just introduced myself. Hi, I'm Nicola. I've just been offered a job at your company, and I just wanted to find out more. Can you tell me what the daily tasks are like, and what the company culture is like? Is the manager approachable? And just essentially get a feel of even the person, because if a person takes time to reply you, it shows that they're also keen to have you on board. So yes, I've been faced with a number of decisions, even when I left accounting firms too. I had 3 offers, and I had to then try choose an industry. So so I've always reached out to people and just try to find out more from a person working in the role, not a manager, but a person who's at the level you're at, and what they think, because employees normally have more insight on what's happening on the ground.
Now this is actually good. So whoever is listening out there, here are practical tools that you can also use. So Nicola, if someone says no, you reach out to a person in that company that you want to move to, if they don't respond, because no is an answer that doesn't sit comfortable with a lot of people. In the, so quite no, it's just no, is they're not answering, they just blank you. Does that faze you at all, or how do you deal with that? If DM someone, they don't answer, do you just what do you do then in that situation?
I actually haven't, like, people you'll be surprisingly always responsive, especially when you're asking if they're trying to fill a role and they know you'll be potentially joining the team, because they're also curious about you. So actually what I found in Australia is most people are very responsive. I've never had a like DM in regards to the career or inquiring about a company, but if someone doesn't, then it's alright. It's a part of life. Like not every person is gonna respond, and that's okay. You just have to respect their boundaries and either look for. There's also a website called Glassdoor where you can look up company reviews and employees post what they think about the company. So it's another good area to look.
Also, employees go. I've never used this one. So employees go there and rate their companies and comment and stuff like that. Oh, that's great. Anyone who's listening out there, Glassdoor to be utilized as well.
Sort of like good hacks.
That's great. So you also pivoted from accounting firms into industry. Walk us through that journey and what made you leave the accounting firm. How difficult was it to pivot? Because we get some people who also want to pivot, right? Whether going into firms or out of firms. So we just want to understand that process and how you dealt with it in your experience.
Yes, so I think after about 1.5 2 years in audit, I was burnt out, like I was saying, and I had to sit down with myself and actually ask myself, do I see myself wanting to stay in an audit firm to become a partner? And it didn't look exciting. The partners looked tired, overworked, and I was like,
it's a lot of work.
Yeah, and my goal has always been to be a CEO. I want to be a female boss. Yeah, I want to make it to the top. The best way is to get industry experience. So that's when I started applying, and which is one of the reasons why I took up the audit position actually. Because it was at a top 4 accounting firm, and I knew that even though I was taking a pay cut, it was gonna look good on my resume. So it was one of those things where even just being there for 1.5 years, I did find that some companies would prefer top 4 experience.
It's a badge of honor.
It is. It's tough.
I did that myself as a fellow chartered accountant, as you know. I worked for PwC for a couple of years myself, and that always dropping that in interviews goes a long way. So I understand exactly what you're saying. It's definitely a page of honor out there. If you can get a role at the Big Four, definitely goes a long way. If you can't, there's also other ways to do that. But no, great. So you pivoted. And now I want to ask about your journey, if there were any mentors at all. Were you getting mentored by who, and how did you select your mentor?
Yes, so when I was leaving audit, when I was going into industry, I did have to consult, because then, like I was saying before, I did get 3 job offers in 3 completely different industries. One was healthcare, one was a construction company, ASX listed company, and the third one was entertainment company.
Right. Wow. Very different industries.
Very different. So I did need a mentorship in regards to just, especially talking to someone who's been in Australia a long time, is familiar with how the Australian job market works and what would help me achieve my goals, because like I said, I want to be a CEO. So just having those conversations. So I did have conversations with a number of people, and I did have a mentor who was able to sit with me and help me look at process what I had on my table, and then help me look at the pros and cons of each job.
How did you select that mentor? Did you approach them, or were they part of because I know there are internal mentorship programs as well at various organizations. I know PwC does have one. Did you approach them, or how did you select them? And to say, because where I'm getting with this is that we know there are people out there who find it difficult to approach mentors, to select the right mentor for yourself, and to actually then create and maintain that relationship with that person. So just walk us through that process of mentor selection, and then we're going to compare that with what we are doing in Daraja, where it's a cultural mentorship program, a true mentorship program, where we can actually do that matching. The app itself has the capability to match you with someone who matches your profile. So if you can walk us through, I'll take it back a little, walk us through your selection process of the mentor and leading to Daraja today, the new mentees there.
Yeah, so it was more someone I knew, like a friend, I would say, but they were obviously well ahead in their career. They've developed, they're more in owning their own company and running their own business. So it was more so just building that relationship. And I did reach out, actually, I initially reached out to another Zimbabwean man on LinkedIn who works for a very big Australian supermarket.
Oh wow!
In internal audit.
Yeah.
So I reached out to him, had an initial conversation, and he did, because I was at that time interested in joining their company, but also just wanting to find out more, like how because he was a manager, so find out more how he got to those levels.
Yeah.
And one thing for certain is networking. It always comes down to networking. They'll always tell you, even with my mentor, networking and putting yourself out there. Utilizing LinkedIn, for example, to be active, and that's how you meet people. Not being afraid to reach out to people and just like you were saying, shoot your shot essentially. But it is a bit difficult because you're saying sometimes people don't respond. People like are busy with their lives, so not everyone. Some people can be in leadership, but not everyone has that mentorship gene in them. So it has to be something someone is willing to do. So when it comes to Daraja, the fact that someone signs up to say, I'm putting my hand up, I want to be a mentor, and they know what's involved beforehand and they're willing to go through those steps, I think that's the benefit. It's definitely something I wish was there when I was starting my career, because it's a lot easier and a lot quicker than trying to shoot your shot, type an email. Like throwing seeds. They're like, hey, I think me and you, and they're looking at you like, or they might just not open your message because some people don't even use LinkedIn as often.
You get blue ticked and then you lose heart. When we're saying there's no need for that with a platform like Daraja, which is great. So I think for me, you've painted a picture, a very good picture. And obviously you've been a mentee and you're now a mentor. You've done well, we're proud of you as a senior financial accountant. You've pivoted from the Big Four, you're working in industry now. We've heard your journey, your story. But what would you say to a mentee, a young lady out there just like you, wanting to also be a senior accountant one day and with aspirations of being a CEO? What would you say to them in terms of how they're going with their journey and, obviously the challenges that could come and the barriers and how we can navigate through those barriers?
Yes, so definitely I do believe in mentorship. So having somebody who's walked those steps prior is a very big help, because then they're able to offer guidance. Like I said, there are times I've had to make decisions on which way to go in my career, what's more effective. So having someone who's been there before, talking to you and guiding you and showing you, okay, it's not like they're telling you exactly what to do, but they're able to guide and provide more insights into what's on hand. So especially not having grown up here or studied here, it's a lot difficult. Things are a bit different from how they're done back home to how they're done here. So having someone who's been here a long time, is very familiar with the landscape in Australia, is very beneficial. So that's definitely one way I found is the best way to navigate challenges, like talking to people, networking, putting yourself out there, attending events. Because sitting at home, I know it can be comfortable, but you won't meet people by just sitting at home. You have to get out there and put yourself out there. You have to. That's the way you get recognized. Even when you're seeking promotions in accounting firms, that's one other thing I realized. You don't get promoted if you're just quiet and doing your work. You need to go talk to the partners, let them know your name, so that when they go to those promotion meetings, they're like,
that one.
So just, even at work, when you get that opportunity, you have to make those relationships as well. So start talking to people, building relationships, because it's more relationships than how good you are that get you to advance quicker.
They say it's who you know, not what you know.
Exactly.
So I tend to agree with everything that you just said. The networking has worked amazing for me as well, like amazing, in a very amazing way. I've seen my life literally change in front of me just by knowing the right people at the right time and leveraging and utilizing that opportunity of tapping into their network. So yeah, could agree more. Networking is big. Nicola, so we come back to Daraja then. What's one thing that you can say to our viewership that you like about Daraja and why?
Yeah, so like I initially said, the fact that you've got mentors who really want to be there, who've put their hand up and who've signed up, because it's not just like you wake up and you're like, I want to be a mentor. You actually have to go through the process to fully sign up. So if you see yourself getting to the end of that process, that means you're dedicated.
Yeah.
And also then I found the team at Daraja is very supportive. Like if you've got any questions, any issues, they're always ready to help, assist with how to go about it. So even I was still trying to find my feet in mentoring because it's something I'm passionate about. Just like I said, I realized the value of a mentor. One of my favorite quotes is, give a man a fish, you feed him for a day. Teach a man how to fish, you feed him for a lifetime.
Wow.
So it's more so just that the importance of mentorship, like when someone is really giving you, sharing their life experiences and telling you, oh, you know, they can even come up with things you wouldn't have thought of because you know, you're still trying to find your feet in your career. So I definitely love that about Daraja, that they've created a platform where especially culturally diverse students might not have the opportunity to know where to find a mentor or where to look for a mentor. So just that ability to get matched to someone who, you know, fits what you're looking for is amazing.
And it doesn't end there. I'll add a bit to that as well. Yes, we can match you with one mentor, but you've got that opportunity to tap into the network itself. So yes, you're matched one-on-one with your mentor, but if you reach out to the team and say, I also want to speak to someone in this area because we have all this talent on the program, you can definitely be linked with another person who can help you navigate that landscape.
And I'll also add something. Another thing I like about Daraja is that it's not limited to location. Like just because I'm in Australia does not mean I can't have conversations with somebody in a different country. And it might not be that you want to come to Australia, but just having that knowledge of, okay, this is what I do in my day-to-day tasks as a financial accountant, or you know, the ability to have conversations with people all over the world.
They say knowledge is knowledge. So regardless of where you are, and you know, hearing from someone who looks like you, speaks like you, and understands your background goes a long way, which is what we are creating here. We're trying to create something where, a platform where people who look alike, who speak alike, know obviously our backgrounds, can actually talk, because it's easier to talk to someone who understands where you're coming from and your background. So that's exactly why we exist. Nicola, we know you want to be a CEO in the future. We'll be looking forward to that journey. Hopefully next time you sit on this hot seat, you'll be a CEO of one big company, lucky company out there in Australia. We wish you all the best with that journey, but we're very happy to have you as part of the Daraja family. And I'm glad to say you've been nominated. I don't know if you're winning because it's a very tight race. It's a very tight race, but you've been nominated for an award as well. So look out for our comms after 1 November at an event that we're hosting here in Brisbane, where Nicola has been nominated for an award. Last words, Nicola, any advice that you give to I know you've spoken about mentees before, but to our mentors who are sitting on a fence, people with at least 10 years of experience in their field of expertise, who don't know where to start in terms of giving back, but want to know a bit more and want to know why people do this, the why we could actually influence someone to join and give back like what you're doing.
Yes, it's a really fulfilling and rewarding journey, just being able to share your experiences. It's like I'm saying, you're guiding somebody and you never know, you might be that one impactful decision in someone's life that actually takes them up all the way to presidential levels or something, but just that inspiring somebody else's life and actually using your time to help shape someone else's career or future is very rewarding. It's something I've really enjoyed about the journey. And like I'm saying, it's knowledge just sitting within you is not as good as knowledge that's shared. And as we help people grow. We ourselves also grow, because it's not just like a one-way giving street. It's a two-way street. Having those conversations with somebody else and finding out about their journey, where they've been, their experiences, can also help you learn something, a thing or two about yourself.
Yeah.
And the mentees are amazing. I don't know how you've selected like them, but they are amazing. And they actually want to be there too. So they make time to meet up and have those conversations. So it's actually rewarding in that regards, that everyone really wants to be there. So yeah.
This is great, because we've heard this as well from other people who've sat on this seat, that reverse mentorship is actually a thing. And I think one of the benefits for the mentor out there is that reverse mentorship. You are tapping into this young person's life, and to your point, it's a two-way street. So it's a two-way conversation. We're not saying it's a top-down approach. It's actually bottom-up as well, where there's that osmosis of ideas, there's that exchange of ideas from the parties involved. So yeah, there's definitely value also derived from the mentor for their mentees through that reverse mentorship.
And those relationships too, they're very rewarding. Like you meet somebody new, somebody you wouldn't normally have a conversation with. Like I'm saying, my mentee is based in Cairns.
Cairns, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So it's like, I don't know if we would have met. But just the opportunity to have a conversation with somebody who is not directly where I am, but wants to share their journey with me, and is interested to hear what I have to say too. So.
Well, next time you're in Cairns for a holiday, make sure you catch up in person, because also we encourage every now and then, be it at our events that we host, or you can be intentional about it. When you go on holidays to Cairns, you can actually catch up with because it's the human connection to it as well that we really value as well at Daraja Impact Hub. Nicola, thank you so much for your time. I think for us, we are grateful to have you on board, and you've been providing a lot of value, I think, to a couple of mentees so far. And we look forward to maintaining you and seeing more work that you're going to do with more young people out there who can tap into your knowledge and into your journey, into your experience, and to be inspired by the work that you're doing. Thank you so much for being part of this. Stay there whilst I conclude this interview. For those people who are interested in joining the Daraja Impact Hub and also give back their knowledge to our people, please visit our website, www.darajaimpacthub.org, and sign up to be either a mentee or a mentor. The platform is ready for you. The platform is ready to give the value that our mentees want, and also tap into our mentors, those experienced Africans out there who also want to share that knowledge. It speaks to the Ubuntu, what we are doing here. So giving back is absolutely paramount. This is wisdom, this is knowledge sharing to build the Africa and the African diaspora that we want to see. Till next time, thank you all.
See you.
Cheers. Thank you.